You know what this means? I think there's a block missing in our farm. Which is not good because we have water in there. Huh. An Enderman probably picked it up and put it there. Not probably, that's exactly what happened. uh, these are doing pretty good. Hoppers are filling up. Every now and then I'll drop a couple, I'll craft and drop a couple kelp blocks and let it run. And that's pretty low maintenance for infinite fuel. So there's that, and then there's this. This has been running for quite a while. Aha! Grab some white wool. We'll need it in a second. Uh, that's pretty sweet. I mean, we could take a peek at the shears as well. That's like not even a fifth of the way through most of these shears. Last time I had said that these dried kelp blocks took up 30 units worth of fuel. And they took 9 to make. They do take 9 to make, and they actually cook up 20. So it's a little over twice as much as we're putting in. I thought it was 20. I even checked the wiki, and on the wiki it says 30. But this only smelts up 20. I don't know what that's about. So, wow. Today we're going to make a villager breeder into a sorter thingy, and it's going to be infinitely more complicated and inefficient than it needs to be, but that's kind of the fun part for me. It's the same old villager breeder that everyone's seen, but I've tacked some things onto it just to make it a little bit more I don't want to say creative because that's not quite the word, but interesting to my play style of Minecraft. There we go. But the reason why I'm right here is because, you know, the as you can see, there's the colors, right, of all the sheep. And the reason why I'm making that villager farm super complicated is because eventually I'd like to plop down 16 villagers assigned to each of these colors, right? But the problem is that pretty much every villager is kind of randomized. So the chances of us actually getting a perfect villager is going to take a long time. um, some we might get lucky with, but 16 villagers all super perfect is not likely. But that's kind of the point. Because as we go through the trades, we get experience. So let's say I'm at 28 levels and I just, you know, pop down into here, go and check out a villager, and we get my 30 levels, and this guy is not great. I can just eject him and then leave. Come back, there's another villager ready for me. So that's the goal. And I'd also like to go mining and do some other stuff today. So here's our goodies for this little project. We'll just go component by component, and hopefully this lasts us through the whole thing. I feel like we're going to run out of iron and redstone before the end of this. So that's probably when we'll go and have some fun caving. But for now, let's start with the first component. So originally, we had it so that this dude, Diamond Bag, Master Farmer, was out here tending to the carrots and stuff. And he come in here, and he toss all the extra carrots into a minecart hopper, and it would just kind of go nowhere. We slowly accrued a whole bunch of carrots doing that, and that was fine. We'll build a bigger thing later, but for now, that small trickle of carrots is enough to breed a villager every now and then. That's perfect for right here. So instead of him going just into nowhere, we're going to have his buddy, this guy, the journeyman. We're going to cram him into those fence posts. That's the first little thing that we'll have to do. Over up there. Up, 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 up. Okay, let's try composter over here. Perfect. And then I could take you, and I could pop you down. Ow. Right there. Ow. My noggin. Now I gotta put everything back. Alright. Let's see if I can do this fast enough. Oh, 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 oh. Alright. Oh, No! In there. No, 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 no. That was surprisingly easy. So now, I gotta do it again. Ooh. Alright, this is gonna be wicked fast. Check this out. Alright, and then... Oh, I'm lethal with it. Alright. That is mission number 1 done. Next thing we need to do is below that is make a, the actual villager breeder. Look how smuggy he looks. He knew this entire time that I'm gonna have to cram him and his buddy down below into the actual villager breeder. So stuffing him in here was all for nothing. And you knew that. Didn't tell me. I'll get you for that. But this guy up here, this is the first component done. Right? This guy up here. Where you go? I'm like, Right. Where are you going? What's over here? What has you compelled to go down here? You threw me off. I was doing something. Okay. So, he's supposed to be up here, right? So, dude number 1 hangs out over here, right? He gets the carrots and stuff, comes over here, tosses them over here, right? They fall down there. Boom. It's like an auto villager feeder, I guess. And then it falls down onto the next component, which is the actual farm itself. Both the auto feeder and the actual villager farm below were invented by Zinji, which again I'll link below. All right, make it to that bed. That might actually be a good thing that he fell down here then, if you can do that. We just have to wait until it's nighttime, I suppose. This block, right here, this one. Yep, that one, buddy. This block, bud. The one next to you, buddy. There you go. Alright. You're so smart. Proud of you. Alright. Yeah, just break. There. Ta-da. Now they're technically in there. That's pretty cool. Do you need... What's going on with you? Pick a bed. Any bed. Any one of them works. Any bed. Just pick one that's not occupied. You want the one on the polar opposite side. Is that what's going on? Of all the beds, you want this one here. Oh my... Ugh. There. There you go. Bed. Pick one. Are you in? Any bed, dude. Any one of them. They're all yours. Just choose one. Oof. Alright. As you can kind of see, we got the trapdoors and the wool in an alternating pattern in a 3x3 donut shape, right? And below that we have the beds. The head of the bed, or the pillow, is connected to the feet of the next bed, right? So you see, that's where the pillow is. That's the foot, goes into this pillow, right? Foot goes into that pillow, and it's a spiral. So that way they can all, choose their own bed and get into it. You only need 2 villagers in the actual breeder. It uses the extra beds in order to make more villagers, right? So when they wake up, there's a fence post right there that they stand on, and then, like I said, this trapdoor, down 2 blocks from that trapdoor, is the other trapdoor where the bread or the carrots or whatever lands on, right? So you take that, and they take it and they eat it and they make a baby, and the baby falls through that fence and it drops down here. We're gonna have a water stream here eventually, but for now we're gonna trail it off into the next component. Again, Zinji is the one that made all this, not me. But this part is something that I'm particularly proud of, that I did manage to come up with. Ta-da! Just like that. They stand on that fence there. Once they make a baby, the baby falls down because it's not wide enough like the adults. So fall down fence and splash into this water. Water stream goes here onto the slab, which will be extended. I'll show you how that's extended in the first place. But they stand on the slab, and because the slabs here, they're not tall enough to trigger this tripwire until they grow up. Once they grow up, they get bigger, and their fat villager head triggers this tripwire. But there's a problem. assuming this slab is here, right? They grow up, they trigger it, and that's fine. Then they fall down, right? But we can't have it immediately because sometimes they like to hop up onto this water stream before they get pushed back down. And if we had just this redstone dust going straight to this piston, then that would be a problem because it would be a baby and it would trigger this, and then they'd fall down, right? So we have a little bit of extra something to deal with that, right? So instead of it just being a wire, we have the dust going into a repeater, which goes into this block, right? Which on the other side of this block is this hopper, which means it's powering this hopper and it's locking it, right? When this repeater is on, when this dust is triggered. On the other side of this block is a torch, which is locking the hopper next to it, and it would turn that off. So it's just flipping between the two. Pretty simple. We want 23 smooth stone blocks to extend this piston, right? So we can kind of emulate that just by, just a single redstone dust line straight to powering and unpowering a piston would be just by having the one item, right? So this is what would happen if I tried to hop up onto that water block. But if we add the extra 23, it has a little bit of a buffer because let me just take one of these away, and you can see the particle effects, or this is kind of like highlighted a little bit, the particles. This one isn't. It's only one redstone dust out, but 23 is 2, so it gives us a little bit of a buffer. This doesn't actually technically need to be here, but that was just to demonstrate. So now, with that little bit of a buffer, they can hop up and trigger this all they want. But adults have nowhere to run, really. So they stick right here. And eventually, they get sent down. If we truly wanted to, we could probably not have to deal with 23 items. We could go for a lower item. But I'm just doing 23 as a failsafe. And just in case we want to maybe, you know, use that as something later on, that's always an option. We have that ability there with a comparator. But for now, technically, this whole thing is done. Alright, that's all we really need to do. So that's this third component. It's just like an adult baby sorter component. So right there's a slab with the piston. They drop onto this. Hay block makes it so that they take less damage. Or none, I hope. And we put them into a piston tape. So pretty much it's going to be a row of blocks. They're going to be glass so that they don't suffocate. And it's going to kind of shove them along this little piston tape. And that way we can, we power this, you can see how it works. All these repeaters are here, both to extend the signal for this big long stretch that it wouldn't work if it was just one big long line, right? And as well, it has a little bit of a delay. So it adds a hair of delay, which is just enough so that the pistons actually go off and push the thingy and don't glitch out. Not only that, we have to keep track of this delay because we want this to activate twice. Because if they were just here and they got pushed once, then they could just walk back because there's not going to be a block here to keep them there, right? We need to push them twice so that they can't think of walking into the next block. That's one thing. So, because of that, it goes around and it cycles it once, right? But if we just power it like this, it just stays extended. And if we use something like a button, it would be powered for too long. So if we did have items here, this could push this, that's fine. But if it's still extended, this item can't be pushed by this piston if it's still extended like that. The button would be too long, right? Because it'd be pushing it into this and can't do that. So we gotta install another thing. Look at this. Ooh. Well, not the Enderman. Don't look at him. Don't get angry. But look at this. They just take dirt blocks from places and stuff them down in the caves below. They're trying to fill them back up. Note to self. If I ever plan on making this a second time, the pink line of dust and redstone component needs to be on the opposite side of the green redstone component. because then they clash. I could just move the green one over a few more blocks, but I'm running low on redstone. I called it, so we will have to go caving, which is still pretty fun. However, if you remember before, we couldn't send too long of a pulse to this. This couldn't be powered for too long because the pistons stay powered and the blocks can't be moved, right? So we solved that with this, not the loop there. I'll show what that's for in a second, but this. It's just a repeater into a block into a piece of dust. But below that block is a piston, right? So the repeater powers the block, powers the dust, right? That's how we get our pulse. The piston below it turns it into a blink because in the same moment that the repeater powers this dust, a fraction of a second later, the piston is extended and can no longer, since this is, it'd be like that, it would be easier to just demonstrate it, but since the block is up above it, it can't power this dust anymore, so it's like a blink rather than a long pulse. And it doesn't matter how long this pulse goes on, as long as it's on, this piston will be extended, so it'll just blink, right? So we can take this, torch and put it on indefinitely, right? And it doesn't matter. You saw the pistons, they kind of just, there's a blink, and then once it resets, right? Or we can have a lever that we can flick on and off, right? That doesn't matter. Or we can have a button, right? So, you saw it go twice when I used the lever and the button. That's because I also have this little loop here. This loop is timed specifically for when this repeater runs out. The original repeater, once that runs out, it retracts this block, just in time for the dust or the power to go through these repeater and power it a second time, so it can flicker a second time, right? So as I mentioned before, this is going to be a piston tape of glass. So it's going to push them once, and if it doesn't push them a second time, they'll just walk back here, because this is an air block, because they have to fall right here, right? They'll fall here, and they'll push them once, and they'll push them a second time. And then, since this is glass, they'll see that as a block that they can't walk into. Not only that, but we'll also have rails here. And villagers, just as a second safety measure, villagers don't like rails. They don't like walking on rails. So they'll stay put, hopefully. There might be a time or two where that's not the case, where they'll get pushed and they'll immediately walk back. But I think I have this timed well enough that it does work. And then one last thing to install, though. Oh, Cuddles is getting a snack. Happens periodically. He's just zapping fish for whatever reason. Holy smokes, he's hungry. Somewhere. So, there's this big old hole here, right? Actually, all of these have holes. 24 blocks deep. So the villagers just fall and they die. That's it. Ta-da. And I can pull it ever. Pull it ever, crunk. And I can squish them like that. Not squish them, but have them fall all the way down. Splat. So I don't have to deal with them. Right? Or, alternatively, if I am standing here and I like their trades, I go, oh, that's good. Boom. And it cycles them twice. So this is the minecart rails I was talking about, and it moves them to the next one. Eventually it'll have, they probably won't be levers. Maybe they will. I like the idea of levers. But originally I had buttons, and I'll have buttons individually for each of them. So it's like, alright, yeah, I like this guy. Alright, yeah, I like this guy. Oh man, that kind of stinks. Beep, and he's gone. There's a whole bunch of other things I haven't really designed yet, but I need something to shut off the to shut off the villagers from breeding a second villager if there is one right here. And I can't do that with a tripwire because I got this going on, or with a pressure plate, not tripwire. we got that going on. So chances are I'll have to do something like I mentioned with this comparator. I have to send that all the way back up, which is originally why I had that on that side. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll make it work. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. We have to have an export thing, so they get pushed to this last one. They can just fall right into another hole, but this hole has a water stream in it, and that just takes them out to a transport bay where we can send them off to wherever we want. So let's try to go for a trial run. Assuming this is enough, I'm gonna throw a stack of carrots at them. Okay, it landed on the fence post, that's fine. You can go down here, and they toss them around to each other. They're all happy. Okay, a stack of carrots certainly is enough. And then... And then... And then... Oh, no, they want more carrots. And then they pop out a baby. Ta-da! What are you? That was like a Roman emperor. What are you? Something I'd like to point out is that I'm starting to accrue a lot of these hoppers with open tops. If you put a compost bin on top of a hopper, it makes your world lag less because hoppers are constantly looking for stuff to fall into them. If you have the compost bin, then it kind of turns that off. So you'd see up here, where is it? Tick rate. Yeah, 17 ms ticks, right? You can see up there, each and every one of those ticks, I believe it's sending out something looking, is there something above this hopper? If no, don't pick it up. If yes, pick it up. Basically. I'm not a programmer, but that's my crude understanding of it, I suppose. And by putting the composters there, that's just one less operation to the game has to process, I guess. It might not make that much of a difference for 2 hoppers, but if you got a big old sorting system and it's got 1,000 hoppers in it, and like 800 of them can have compost bins in it without affecting the efficiency at all, that's 800 hoppers that don't need to be constantly pinging every tick for stuff in your world. So I don't know if you can kind of hear it, but there's 2 babies in there actually. Right? I said that I would have to have a shut off, and that's a good thing for me to think about. I always like having some sort of shut off, again, for managing lag. But there's 4... Ooh, it's kind of difficult to see from this angle, but in the original thingy that we built, there's 4 beds, right? So that means that this this villager farm has a capacity for 4 villagers. But I'm going to put another bed up there, right? So the 2 at the very top, the one that's crammed in those fences, I'm going to have, it's going to count as 1, and then there's going to be the farmer is going to count as another. Then there's the 2 in the breeder, that's going to count as another 2. So you're going to have the 4 beds there, and then the farmer is going to have their own bed. So it's going to have a capacity for 5. So as long as right here counts as they're still in a village, technically they shouldn't breed another until they fall down and get sorted and dealt with. Oh, aha! Anytime. I was actually on my phone looking at the wiki trying to figure out if it was actually 20 minutes. Yeah, that was about 20 minutes. Ta-da! And they drop. And he's a grown-up. Wait, where'd the baby go? Well, why are you in my redstone? Hi. Cleric. Cool. Go down there. This dude found his way out, all the way out of that little area. That was the little baby. Distracted me. This little area right here. He really wanted to get to that brewing stand. So, this dude, he's got carrots, right? So, every level, he's at the novice, level 1. Every level, per villager job, there's a pool that they can select from. They select 2, right? So for the novice pool of the trades, the farmer, there's like wheat, potatoes, carrots, beetroot, and I think they sell bread to you. So we can level this guy up, give him a whole bunch of carrots, right? And wait for him to get the purple particles. And we got pumpkins and apples. So let's say, ooh, yeah, pumpkins. I wanted that one. I press this button. And it cycles them to the next area. Right? So then we can do that again. And, just for... I don't know if I have enough. Well, that did it. Then you get the purple particles. And then this next one is cookies and melons. Right? So to be completely honest with you, farmers are borderline useless when it comes to the trades. I mean, for getting emeralds for crops, it's fine, but they don't have any of the super special traits. What we're gonna see here is a lot of lecterns. They get the super special traits for the books, like, oh, mending book. Oh, I want this guy, right? We have to put in some looms so we can get the shepherd, I think, job. So we can get the specific colors related to the specific trades. They sell like beds and stuff. It's just for a little bit of extra fun to have. But you see I'm getting levels from this, which is really nice. And I'm getting emeralds for practically nothing. So let's say, well, he's not there anymore, right? But let's say we don't want this guy. We retract that piston. Splat, and he's dead. He's gone. No longer have to deal with him. That's it. And the reason why we don't kill him ourselves is because that would affect the trades. See, technically, this is still a village. So they all gossip, right? They beat up one villager, it makes them all upset, right? So they gossip to each other. No, the prices get different, and it's like, I could have gotten a lot more XP if it wasn't 30 carrots instead of 22. They do take their time, don't they? Oh, there we go. And then the cycle starts over again. Now we have to wait 20 minutes for this guy. That's fine. Okay. Now I know. But like I said, the 4 beds in there. You did not... What is wrong with you, dude? Oh my goodness, I'm going to... Okay. Like I said, there's 4 beds in there, and there's the one up here. So that means this village has a cap of 5. There's going to be the dude up here farming, dude in there, 2 in there. That's 4. And then the 5th one's going to go in there. I have to get that thing... We're done. Congratulations to me. Oh boy. I guess I'll go caving. I don't know. I really don't want to deal with that guy. Alrighty. Yeah. And it's that time. And we're not going caving. Yeah, I feel like someone that said that, hey, yeah, we're gonna go get ice cream, and then we're not getting ice cream today. Oh, man. Originally, I was really disappointed with this episode, and I still kind of am. The entire episode, it was like, yeah, this is another, like, tick in the box of stuff that I don't like to do. I don't like to talk about the process of making an episode. I just want to share the world of Minecraft, my world of Minecraft with people. And just, you know, be kind of, go with the flow. But, man, I took, like, every single component here had, like, a dozen takes behind it. The intro had, like, a dozen takes behind it. And I spent a lot of time. It was like every 5 minutes that you see of this video took an hour. Just for me to word things correctly, and it was not my best day for recording, and unfortunately there's only so much time in the day for recording. I contemplated scrapping the entire episode. It is a huge contrast to the last episode where it went so smooth. I was very impressed with myself with how that went. But I figured maybe this is someone's cup of tea, just this big 30-minute incoherent rambling about one component. Usually I like to have, like, the last episode's probably a great example of how I like to lay out my episodes. We went and did something, explored the ocean monument, and then we did the kelp farm, and then we did some other stuff, wrapped it all up, all in one episode. I was happy. The kelp farm is about 2/3 of the episode. That's usually pretty good, and then there's 1/3 of fun, right? This was the entire episode. This might be someone's cup of tea. That's okay. And I don't know. It's like, I guess the piece of advice for this episode would be, if I can't, like, I'm not graded on this. I'm not paid to do it. And if I can't fail every once in a while and just take things as a learning experience, then I don't know when I ever will be able to, right? And this is a hobby. So the learning experiences, I would like some feedback on if this was like, if this was okay. I could make like a episode 9.5 when I get some time and just go through specifically this, and that probably take like 5-10 minutes. But in this episode, I went through and I went component to component and I explained it, and I probably could have explained, I absolutely could have explained each and every component a lot better. And a lot of it was incoherent. So that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, I don't know, learning experience. That's what this will be, a learning experience. Even this one take, I contemplated just ending the take and just doing it again. Whatever. Alright, thank you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.